Hey teachers, it's Nadine. I am working on a template where you can house all of the bell ringers that you decide to do for your class that you might use all year. And I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and reasons why you might want to use a presentation like this to house all of it. Typically, people have a link to a bell ringer out in different sources. And when I was working with a group of teachers during one of the open lab days, I was talking about if you have it all packaged together in one deck, then you can easily pull it up for the kids. But one of the common things that people said to me was, well, I don't want them to see the whole deck. I only want them to see that day. And so I taught them something that they did not know that you could do in Google Slides. So I wanted to demonstrate that. Let's say, for instance, this is your bell ringer, and I'll talk about the template I made. And this is just a template. Like, you can go in and change it to meet your needs. So let's say this is our first bell ringer, and I don't want the kids to see the one that's going to come up the next day. The one thing that you can do is you can right click. I'll go to the second slide. I can right click on that slide, and when I go into that, do you see where it says skip slide? So when I hit that, you're going to see a little eyeball. So if I actually come back to this first slide and I go into present mode and I'm sharing it out with the students, it skips right over that slide. So here was my suggestion to teachers. I said, build out all of the bell ringers that you use for that class for the year, and then you're going to go through, and as you add them, then you're going to hide all of the other slides, and you're going to unhide the slide that you want them to see that day. Now notice on here I didn't put the date. If I put the date on that, then that means that I'm going to have to be constantly going back and updating it. And so my feeling was, if you just have all of your bell ringers, then you can go in and quickly pull the one that you want to project in your class or share out with students. People have asked, okay, well, what if I'm ready for that one? You just right click again and then uncheck it, and then the eyeball goes away. So you can do that literally on any slide. You can totally control what you want students to see and what you don't want them to see. So the next thing that they had asked me was, I asked them, I said, what do you do with the bell ringer work? I'm like, is it for a grade? A lot of people said it's for participation with something, so not necessarily something that's in the grade book, but they just want to know that the kids actually did it. So I've thought about that one, and yes, I know you could make like a Canvas assignment to keep track of that. But again, like we said, it's not really something that you typically are going to put in the grade book. It's just that you want to know if the kid did it. So I tried to think of an easier, faster process for that. And some people said, oh, I show a video clip, or I ask the kids to watch a video clip and then respond to it. So the kids are not typing on this deck or doing anything with this deck. It's just that they're seeing the content, but there is a link on here that takes them to, my suggestion would be to do a Google form. Because if I do a Google form, then it's going to populate all of the kids' stuff, and that way I can quickly see at a glance. It's going to give me that timestamp, and it's going to tell me not only that the kid did it, but it's going to tell me when they did it. I'll work on a Google form template that can be linked in here, so I'll have that on the template. When I talked to some other people, they said, oh, I might have a link to an article I want them to analyze. Other people said they have a quote and they ask the kids to respond to the quote. I had someone tell me that they use like a cartoon and they have to analyze the cartoon. This is where I'm kind of leaning on you guys, because what I want to do is not only have this template have these options, but I wanted to put in some samples. So if you are interested, first off, I'll share out the template and anybody can use it, but I'm trying to give teachers some options of what they could do for bell ringers. So if you are willing to share an option of something that you do, I would like to include samples in this deck, so that way teachers could get some ideas. All right, that's basically the gist of that. On another video, I'm going to be talking more in depth about a packaged content template that I've been making for teachers.